What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Um, Mississippi State, they took two from Missouri, um, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Um, you needed, you needed a sweep. You really did. But you didn't do, you didn't do the little things right. Um, and that's been the problem all year for Mississippi State. You were in position to win most of the SEC games, and and you didn't, and it cost you. You didn't do the little things right, and that hurt, and that's gonna hurt you if if Mississippi State if Mississippi State don't host, and we'll get into all of that. But if Mississippi State don't hear their name called for the 16 host sites, you're going to look back at those games and say that you can point out each game where Mississippi State lost by one or two runs, that you was in the lead to win, and you let them come back. I'm not talking about the non-conference losses that Mississippi State just completely just gave up. You're going to have to do some damage in the SEC tournament. And even then, it may not guarantee you a host spot. I don't get this team because, don't get me wrong. The past 2 years was just awful. There's a big improvement, but you could be like a top 5 team if you just do the simple things right. And we'll look at the RPI, because Mississippi State's RPI is Mississippi State's RPI is 23, and the teams in front of you that are fighting for a host spot, have better RPI than Mississippi State. It's going to come down to this final week. How are you going to what are you going to do to guarantee yourself a host spot? How many games you are supposed to win? Well, first off, you start with Ole Miss on Tuesday night. That's a must-win game. You're going to have to win that game. If you don't win that game, you're probably not going to host. It's just what it is. You're probably not going to host. Then you may have to go beat Texas A&M. I don't know if 2 games will guarantee you the host, but. And another thing, you have 5 quad 4 losses. Air Force, Central Arkansas. Let's see. Georgia Southern. Those hurt you. I don't know how the committee is gonna decide, but if you don't host, there's some things that you can you could point out to that that you can like be mad about because they didn't do those little things right. The SEC play. LSU, you lost by one. I know you was down like 9 or 8 and you fight your way back. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to win when you're down so much. Florida, you should have swept them. You was winning that Friday game. You was winning 6-2, I think, and you gave the game away because of the stupid errors, the mistakes. Let's see. You got Ole Miss. You know, Ole Miss. You was winning. You was winning 7-3 in the bottom of the 8th. I think it was 7-3, and you couldn't hold on to it. Arkansas. You should probably just swept that too. I mean, it's just so many games you could look back and say you could have won that, and that's gonna be. It's gonna hurt you at the end. But I don't know, man. Let's look at the RPI real quick. Let's see. Let's look at the RPI real quick. Let's see. You know, I don't know. So, all right. Well, let's just point out to the teams that's going to host. Texas A&M is going to host. Arkansas is going to host. Kentucky's going to host. North Carolina's going to host. Tennessee's going to host. Georgia's going to host. Clemson's going to host. Florida State's going to host. Indiana State's going to host. UC Santa Barbara's going to host. Wake Forest is probably going to host. Virginia's going to host. Oregon State's going to host. And now there's about 3 or 4 teams that's fighting out for 2 or 3 host spots. You know, NC State, Oklahoma is probably going to host. So I don't get it, but I mean, your non-conference schedule ain't good. You're like your RPI is like 145 in non-conference or something like that. So it's gonna come back and bite you. But we'll see. You know, maybe they have a slight chance, but who knows? I mean, you gotta find out what you do in the SEC tournament. It's going to decide whether you host or not. If you go one and done against Ole Miss, you're not going to host. If you win against Ole Miss and lose against Texas A&M, maybe. But if you beat Texas A&M, if you win your first 2, that may do it. But who knows? But thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace. God bless.